For the last 5 years, I've been journaling religiously, and it's foundationally changed my life in a really positive way. However, in the past year, I've seen a new trend emerge on the internet, and it's taking over in a big way. It's called bullet journaling. Again, as someone who's been journaling every day, I wanted to know what all the hype was about. Does every bullet journal have to have a good aesthetic? Because right now, this is how my journal looks like, and it's kind of messy, and I don't plan on changing that anytime soon. Along with that, is there a method of journaling that's meant for everyone? Is there a way to seamlessly adapt this method into our lives? Most importantly, is bullet journaling worth the time?
All right, so to figure out if bullet journals actually work, we're actually going to a bullet journal workshop of someone who's been doing it for the past year. Hopefully this helps. Hopefully it inspires me.
A few moments later.
After a 75-minute workshop with Jeff Tomasi, I was sold. I love this idea. Jeff suggested using the bullet journal purely as a daily log. So this is where you can rapidly log both your professional and life notes. The whole point of this is to keep your thoughts in one place so you can come back to them later instead of having multiple notebooks, multiple databases for all your thoughts. And for the structure that Jeff suggested, we only need to remember 3 symbols. A dot is considered a task, a open circle is considered an event, and a dash is a thought or a note. Very straightforward, very simple. This particular format of bullet journaling is considered to be flexible, which means you can write down whatever you want that comes to your head. There's no pressure to keep any kind of structure. And there was an individual at the workshop that gave a great analogy to bullet journaling. He considers bullet journaling almost like your hard drive, a place where you can remember your thoughts, whereas your brain is considered the RAM, which is quickly processing through information and doesn't have a really good ability of remembering things long term. I thought that was a great way of looking at it, which makes me want to do bullet journaling even more. So this is how I'm going to structure my bullet journal. 1. Open the journal. 2. Write down today's date. 3. Write down any tasks, thoughts, or events that are happening in that particular day. 4. Keep it close with me and jot down anything that pops into my mind. Easy, flexible. Let's see how it goes for the next week.
So the first day was very difficult, which was expected since this is a brand new habit that I was trying to implement into my life. And along with that came this pressure of needing to keep this journal with me everywhere I went. And it would have been possible if it wasn't for the fact that this journal was 3 times the size of my iPhone, which made it really difficult. So it wasn't until the second day at the evening hours where everything started to slowly change for me a little bit. So before I went to bed, I forced myself to take out my bullet journal and write down all the tasks I had for the following day. And I'll tell you, this was the first time I felt this sense of peace knowing that I already know what I have to do for the next day. So the third day, I slowly started to feel this weight lifted off my shoulders. And the biggest reason for that was because I made 2 small adjustments. First adjustment was that I just let go of this idea that I had to keep this journal with me everywhere I went. It wasn't practical, and I don't really do that anyway with my current journaling habit, so it just didn't make sense. The second adjustment was that I would only keep it with me at my desk while I was doing work. So anytime I had thoughts or ideas that popped up while I was working, I would write them down. So it really simplified when I would be writing in this journal, which was really productive and really beneficial. The fourth day was very unique because this is when I first recognized that I was using less of my phone, which is interesting, right? But the reason I was using less of my iPhone was because anytime I was working on something and I would have this idea or this person I wanted to text or something I wanted to look up on my phone, instead of just stopping what I was doing to go to my iPhone, I would jot it down. And that small little tweak, that small little change of writing things down, like, okay, I'm gonna check back on this after I'm done with the thing that I have to do, increased my productivity tenfold. And I was able to stay in my flow state for longer periods of time. So on the 5th day, I was recognizing that my relationship with tasks was changing. In the past, when I wasn't able to complete a task that I told myself I was gonna do for that particular day, I'd be so hard on myself. But with this bullet journal, I realized that at the end of the day, if I didn't finish a task, I would just cross it and then put it for the next day. And what that forced my mind to do is the next day, I would look at that task and be like, oh snap, I didn't do it yesterday, let me do that first. So it was interesting because I was able to now complete tasks faster. Day 6 and 7 was those days where everything started falling into place. I didn't really depend on the bullet journal as much as I did earlier in the week, but I was still using it in a way that was very productive. It gave me this sense of calmness realizing that I have everything that I have in my head of all the thoughts, all the tasks I have to do in one place. And I thought that was a very just like good experience for me, in the sense that I don't have to be anxious of all the things I have to do or if I forgot to do something, because everything was in one journal. Which leads me to the next question. Does it work? The short answer is yes. There's a lot of benefits to it and a lot of good things I saw in this experiment of doing bullet journals. There was one downside, which is also an upside if you kind of think about it. But the first thing is, I love the flexibility that a bullet journal can offer. Everyone's personality is different, which means that you can structure your bullet journal in any way. So since I have this minimalist type of personality, I like the idea of just using 3 symbols and just jotting down everything that came in my head into one little area. If you're someone who doesn't like that, again, bullet journals are designed to be flexible, which you can kind of create a space for personal notes and professional notes separately. The one downside I would say out of this experiment was the fact that I did see myself using other databases. So mainly what I was doing was I was using my bullet journal to jot down notes, like the things I had to do or thoughts or ideas. But if I wanted to kind of like save a web link or, put a picture and save it somewhere, or kind of create an outline for a YouTube script, I was using the app called Notion. In the beginning of the week, I was feeling really bad about it because I was like, man, I'm cheating the system of bullet journals. But at the end of this week, I just came to this like understanding that you need to have 2 forms of databases, one that's analog, one that's digital. So digital is for like things that you can quickly look at on your phone or your computer or your tablet, such as like inspiration for things or saved articles. But then you can use your analog version, which is your bullet journal, to kind of jot down your tasks or ideas or something that you are quickly thinking about. So that's how I kind of looked at it. I think that's the most amount of like things you need in your life to kind of keep you insane, is like having one digital place where you can store information and one like just like paper version of it. If you were inspired by anything that I said in the last 5 minutes and you want to start doing a bullet journal, here are my 3 tips. 1, start simple. 2, find a system and stick with it for a little while so you don't overwhelm yourself. And then 3, after you do that, focus on adapting and like evolving your bullet journal to kind of fit your lifestyle. Ultimately, I do believe that writing down your thoughts and reflecting on them is huge. And I think it's very beneficial to your mental health as well. So try it out. I think you'll like it. You won't regret it.